Before we get started, anyone interested in ordering Mr. Lindell's 4-CD set, go to metaphysicalarttheater.com. For those in the U.S., you can order physical copies or the digital downloads. For those outside the U.S., you can order the digital downloads by going to metaphysicalarttheater.com.
How you doing, sir?
Very well. How about you?
I'm doing great.
You know, you don't realize it, but you really collect a lot of junk.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a computer that's just overloaded with stuff that you never even get to. That's it, isn't it? Your own attention.
Absolutely.
You have everybody else's attention around you for some reason or other, but do you have your own attention? Do you give time to your own attention? You see, that's the one you're living with, right?
It is. You know, we take that for granted, and we got so many voices on the outside of us, those idols, and it's true. We don't even give ourselves the necessary attention that we need.
Sure. Take care of everybody else, make you famous, but unhappy.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of famous, unhappy people. And that's kind of leading into our subject today, better than the best. That's the foundation, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, why would you look for less than the best? You know. But, you know, actually, that is what we do, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if we're unhappy, right?
It is.
That's exactly it. We're not pertaining to what we say we believe. But actually, what do you believe? That is the question you ask yourself. And actually feel it out for yourself, because it is so worthy. It opens the door. You'll find the portal. And that's what everyone is looking for. And for what? For the how of desired change. It's right with you. That's all there is to it. You can, if you know, or you can decide better than what you're experiencing right now, then that's a step forward. That's a lift up. If you know what you want, that puts you head and shoulders above the rest of the world, doesn't it?
It does. You know, and I like that you said that, because as we're talking, I know that most people are going to miss what you just said. If you know what you want, it puts you ahead and shoulders above everybody else, because the truth of the matter is 99% of the folks out there truly don't know what it is that they want.
That's right. And you know what they're doing? They're fooling themselves by saying, I know about that. See, that's not good enough. It's knowing from it. See, you open the portal, but you don't do anything but just feel after him, and you'll find him, and that's you. You're feeling after yourself, because that's the one you want to make contact with, because you're in the dream. This is a dream. And you're dreaming the dream. But dreaming what? Is it a dream or is it a nightmare? See, that's what most people say, that their dreaming is actually a nightmare most of the time. But then again, that's what they go to sleep with. See, you're going to sleep with that. That's why you have that. It's on your mind. What you want to do is you want to change your mindsets, because they act automatically and sometimes inadvertently do the wrong thing as far as you're concerned. But that's what we're all looking for, the how of desired change. It is with you. And it doesn't have to be a magnificent thing, just a little trial for yourself to see for yourself that what you're saying is a valid say, and you're saying your valid say, but saying what? If you'll catch yourself in the act of setting yourself up a few times, then you'll be more attentive about it, I assure you. Wouldn't you say?
I would. You know, and you said if you would just be attentive to what it is that you're giving your attention to when we're talking about the how of desired change. And it's so true that most people, they say, I know that. Many people will leave this message and they say, oh, this is kind of a repeat of the last message. So, of course, they've turned the brain off to miss the message for themselves.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And we all do it. You see, that the only difference is that we may be a little bit more aware of what we're doing, so we're a little bit ahead of what other people were doing in their mind. It's all about mindsets. What are you thinking about generally most of the time? What is your attitude about life in general most of the time? Because that's your world of experiencing. You're setting yourself up or you're setting yourself free. So all you have to do is just look at what you're saying to yourself, because it's what self thinks about self is the self you're experiencing. Is that not so?
It is. It goes back to what we often say, self and self-risen drama. And you went back and you said it's all about mindsets. Again, most people don't understand that they are directing the mindset.
Oh, yeah. Sure. And the thing of it is, it'll stay the same as long as you think so. And nothing's going to change it. It only changes when you change your mind. And you're told how to do it. You're told what to do in Scripture. I'm not telling you what you should think or anything. I'm just telling you that as you think, you are. So it's you that is important in this conversation, because it is you who is experiencing your life out of the thoughts you're thinking, feelingly, generally most of the time. And all you have to do is test it to see for yourself that that's what it is. Isn't that simple enough?
It is simple enough. And I like that you said, it's been given in Scripture as you think you are, and that the individual is given to think. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if a person begins to think, let's say, better than the best, say that they want to be the next big entertainer, whatever. Many people had approached Neville that were actors that weren't doing well. He started seeing the end for them, and their acting career changed. What were your thoughts?
Yes, that's great. But what now is, did they get it? How they got it? That's the question. In other words, are they going to carry on and build on that, or are they just going to let it slide by and enjoy what they got out of it for the moment? See, because everything takes its signal from your thinking feelingly. And even though everything may be going right at the moment, but for some reason or other, you get into a talk with somebody or overhear something, and your mind drifts off in that direction, and next thing you know, you're thinking negative thoughts again. And I know that people kind of laugh when you say positive thinking, but hey, you can test it. You can try it for yourself, can't you? And if you will, and you'll do it honestly, you'll get the results. Can't not do so, because it was a promise from God himself. Seek and you shall find. Isn't that right?
It is right. And the thing is, you were talking about thinking positive, and you're right. Many people scoff at the concept of positive thinking, and then they'll go about their day continuously thinking their negative thoughts, and then they wonder why their life is in chaos. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times people don't even believe that they can move from a negative thought to a positive thought.
Yeah, that's right. You come up against this all the time. What they're telling us, what we can't. They're telling us what they can't do. We're not unaware of that. Even Jesus himself said, "I of myself can do nothing. It's the Father within me. He doeth all the work." Isn't that the way it's put out?
That's exactly how it's done.
Okay, so then you've just been given the formula for finding out What's going on? That's what you want to know. And that's what these talks are for the people who want to know first person. Because that's the only way you get the results from it, is to be at first person. And you're given to do so. And you're told how to do so. And when the best time to do so is now. Because now is really the only time there is now. It's always now. It's always today. And you're given, choose this day. And now, down to the hour, choose. What are you doing? What are you feeling? What are you looking for? Have you made up your mind that there's something you want just passionately? Then go for it. That's the way it's supposed to work for everybody, if they're paying attention, right?
It is, and you said, in giving the formula, Jesus says, of myself I can do nothing, but it's the Father that does the work. And then you said choose. Now, in understanding choosing, one must understand that they must go to the end. That's the choosing. And then as Jesus says, Father brings about the results. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. In other words, you see you actually doing, being, and having what it is you're dreaming about, right?
Absolutely. And I'm so excited about this because I don't know if people really understand what they're being given. But let's go on and continue. You're choosing by way of your predominant thoughts, feelings, states, attitudes, what it is that you're going to manifest in your life.
That's it. It's your own attitudes. And you really probably are not really aware of some of the attitudes that you have that act automatically because the situation has called on an answer, and it'll give its answer. And whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, that's what you're thinking feelingly about adds to what you're receiving. And you're told that you receive not because you ask not, or that you're asking amiss. And that asking amiss is seeing yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. Because subconscious mind produces your emotion, movement out from. And that's what the whole world is, out from. It's coming through you, not to you. Yeah, that's a big bite to take off at first, but, believe me, that's where you'll be talking about it. I know. If you're hearing what you're saying right now, you'll be doing it. And once you have a taste of the how, it says, seek the kingdom of God, and then all things shall be added unto you. That seems like an offer you can't pass up, right?
It does, and I think that so many of us, because we clothe this into the garment of religion, we miss what's being said. But when we're talking about the kingdom, we're talking about within you, your predominant thoughts, your subconscious mind, because that's where everything's being birthed from. That's the all things that's going to be added to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yes. You're making your future moment by moment, thinking feelingly about what? It says, as you believe, it is to you. So as long as you believe that you're down and out, that's where you'll be. And then what happens is you'll complain about it. And then that adds to it, because everything produces after its own kind. So be careful of the kind that you're putting out there, because it's going to come back and bite you. Attitude awareness, imaginational control. Just do so for a little limited time. And I don't mean an hour or so. I mean for give it a month. Actually, take a month and just a half an hour. Well, 15 minutes at the first time, because I know I had to celebrate after I tried to do it for Well, when I got a minute, I celebrated. But that's what you'll do. You'll have celebration after celebration. And that's what it's supposed to be, a celebration, because you're setting yourself free. It's you who sets yourself free by your choices. Choose this day. That's the story, isn't it?
It is the story. It is the story. You know, you said everything creates after its kind. Jesus said, you know, you should know a tree by its fruits. If your life is in chaos, then if you want to trace the origin back, go back to your thinking. Now, you may not even always remember the thought that brought this condition, this state into being, but understand, until you understand that you're first cause, then only thing you're going to do is continuously get a reproduction of what it is that you're experiencing at the moment.
That's it. That's it. And that's all we're asking you to look at. What are you thinking about right now? And what are the results going to be of what you're thinking right now under the circumstances of things as they are right now? You know, that's how you got conditioned in the first place. Hypnotized, mesmerized, whatever you call it. But when you were born as a little baby, you were totally innocent. Innocent. And then you were conditioned by the world around you. And even if you had warm, well-meaning, loving parents, okay, some did and some didn't. But if you've reached the age of reason, let's reason it together. Your say is a valid say. That, you know, some people say to me all the time, well, that's easier said than done. Well, thank God it's easier said than done, because that's what we were given to do, to say our say. Choose this day. And it's always this day. So you're always starting off fresh this day, because as you think, you are. And if you change it even a little bit, it'll change your day a little bit. And we're all doing so in varying degrees of intensity and intent. And that's all that separates us. It's just that, isn't it?
It is. You know, you're talking about choosing this day. What we need to realize is that we're making deposits into our human bank, as it were. And we drop a few deposits in there, and we're surprised that there's not millions of dollars of compensation in there already. But this stuff sometimes takes time. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, do you take a phone number real quick and without writing it down? And why do you write it down? So you'll remember it. Yeah. And that's what we do. We hear these things, and our heartbeat goes up, and we really know that we've heard something worthy of our attention. But how long do you pay attention to it? If you don't move in and start thinking from that attitude rather than the attitude you've been expressing, which is your world of experiencing right up to this moment. What are you doing in yourself? Don't worry about what's going on in the world around you. For at least a little time for yourself, because that's the life you're living yourself. And you're directing yourself. And that's what you're here to do, to be a better director of your self-talk, because you're guided by your self-talk. And more so than you would believe, I can tell you. It's just, what are you thinking about? Just ask yourself all day long, what am I thinking about right now? I mean, you don't have to burst it out, but just think about it. What am I thinking at this moment? Is it leading me where I want to go? Is it something I want more of? Then carry on, expand on it. But if it's something I really don't want to see in my world, then stop thinking about it. And you can stop thinking about it. If I kick you in the shin, man, I'd have your attention on your shin. That's how easy it is to change your mind and change your world. Oh, you don't have to kick yourself in the shin, but but you can do this. You know, you're told it is doable. Why would you be told to do something you can't do? I mean, and who's telling you to do it is God. Be still and know that I'm God, with you always, will never leave you, omnipresent. What else do you need to know to try it for yourself? I say try it, but it's not a try. It's you do a thing. You do a thing, and you shall have the power of the doing the thing that you're talking about. It's always up to you. What are you doing? That's what you want to be focused on. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? And why are you thinking about it? Is it leading you where you want to go? Fine, continue on. But if it isn't, stop it and get on the track that's leading you where you want to go. Wouldn't that make sense?
It would make sense. You know, you were talking about do a thing and you shall have the power. And it's so true. Anybody that's stepped into a new venture, has taken on a new relationship, started a new diet, whatever that thing is, the moment you start doing it, you start learning skill sets, whether it be in that relationship, making more money, better health, whatever it is. Once you start doing it, the power to do is within you, and it reflects and reveals itself. Would you agree?
Yes, and not only that, what it does is that it's constantly drawing to it as long as you're in it, focused on it, right?
Yes, yes, and that's actually a very good point.
If you'll stay with it, it's always expanding. And that's where you'll get your excitement, is seeing the expansion. But you have to show up. You have to claim your place. That's what you're doing. You're showing up and claiming, I am that. That's all you're doing. That's all really God wants to hear, is that you are what you want to be. And okay, subconscious mind will build your world to match anything you can imagine. And as far as science fiction, there's no such thing as fiction. As you think you are, there's no fiction about it. Attitude awareness, imaginational control. And the people who tell me all the time, well, I don't have any imagination. Well, then you wouldn't exist. Isn't that right?
It's true. It's true. You know, you said the thing that God wanted to hear from us is I am that. Now, people need to understand that I am that is good, bad, and or indifferent.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, he claimed it good and very good, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
All of it. It's good and very good. And if you're not experiencing that, well, then you're not on the same wavelength. And that's all you have to do, is just shift your wavelength. You know, you turn on the radio there, and you all you have to move it is just a little bit, and you're on a completely different station, a completely different idea. Probably a commercial, but look, the point we're trying to make with you is that you are in control, even if you're out of control. And the idea is just to get in control. And you get in control by feeling after what it is that you're thinking feelingly about, generally most of the time. You're always thinking ahead of the evidence that you will be experiencing. And if you're in charge of the evidence you're thinking before the evidence is seen, then you'll be making the evidence seen from what you're thinking feelingly about. Did that come out all right?
It did. It did. You know, and I like that you brought them back to, as far as taking control, how do you feel? Because most people let their feelings run rampant. And then they say, well, you know, I just don't know why my day has gone like this. And they don't believe that they have any level of control over their feelings. And it's just not so.
Well, you know, come on. I understand what I know very well what they're all experiencing. And that's the only reason I'm here doing this, is because I know that what they're experiencing isn't really what they want to experience. And I'm here because I was shown how to cause desired change. I mean, we all know there's going to be change, but desired change. What you really want, what you're really feeling after, is actually feeling after you. So you're always communicating by what you're seeking, because what you're seeking is seeking you. And it will find you if you don't stop. But when you stop, when you turn away, everything comes to a halt. So you're in control even if you're out of control. The idea is to take control. All you're actually told to do is to turn around. You turn to me, I'll turn to you. That's a simple message, isn't it?
It is, and you said as far as we're given to take control, and the control is turning or changing one's mind. And that's why we so often challenge the listeners to try it for 30 days. Try simply thinking about something you want and then shifting your thinking. We do it all the time. We do it every day, in and out. I want this kind of food. No, I decided I'll eat this kind of food. I want to do this. No, I want to do this. I want to watch TV. No, I'll go exercise. We're changing our mind all the time. This is all we're asking you to do, is to be more mindful of what you're giving thought to in order to change your mind.
Yeah, actually, you're doing so anyway.
Yeah.
You are changing your mind. What are you changing it for the better? Because you're on all the time. You're praying all the time. And what are you praying about? That's what you're doing. That's what you're being. That's what you're having. And you say, well, no, I didn't pray for this. Then you should have been about praying. Because you're not choosing. You will be chosen for. And I thought that came out pretty clear in several of the stories of Scripture, that you always get what you expect, not necessarily what you want, unless they happen to be the same thing. But you are praying ceaselessly. That means, yeah, right. Well, yes, with every word, every word is taken into culmination to make up your experiencing of life. So you're actually performing what you should be performing to create your world of experiencing. But what are you creating? You're told, choose this day. That leaves it wide open. Choose. It didn't tell you had to choose this. You have to choose. It says choose this day. There's nothing put up, no parameters at all. And you are doing so. That's what we're trying to tell you. You are doing so. It's what you're experiencing is what you're choosing this day. And you are choosing. It wasn't a request you choose. You're being told that you are choosing. And that if you don't change it, you won't change anything. If you keep thinking back and forth, you need to be single-minded. This is who I am. I am that I am. And that you decide what the that is. And you can't get started until you decide what the that is, right?
Absolutely. And I like that you said, it goes back to I am that I am. You said, this is who I am. Each person makes a decision. They think that the world makes it for them, because of my parents, because of my schooling, because of, where I grew up, because of my friends, because of my neighbors. I am who I am. That's not necessarily true. It's partially true. But the bigger thing is what Mr. Lindell said just a moment ago, when you say, this is who I am. So why not be, from this moment forward, better than the best you know?
That's it. That's it. In other words, as you think you are, you can certainly think better than what you're experiencing. I can't imagine anyone who couldn't really imagine something better than what they have. Even the very, very extravagant rich, they're still looking for the next thing too, aren't they?
They are. And I'm glad you said that, because you made me think about the story of Daniel. And the angel told Daniel, after Daniel had been in prayers for many days, that Daniel, beloved of God, the moment you begun to pray, your answers were being dispatched to you. The second you say, I am, whatever I am is to you, and you begin living from that I am, your prayers are being answered.
Yes, yes. And it is a perfect way to travel.
Yeah.
All they have to do is get a peek, just a peek at what we're talking about. And all you have to do to get that is just sit for a time in the silence and run over what we're talking about. And I'll tell you, if you listen to any one of these interviews, every time you listen to it, you will hear something you didn't hear the first time. Wouldn't you say?
I would. And I like that you encourage them to sit in the silence, because it was said of Moses that he went up in the high place. Really what we're talking about is Moses going up into his imagination and getting quiet and speaking to Father within. When we enter the high place, it's when answers are coming. I saw somebody's post recently in another group, and it said, please pray for me. I just lost my job. Please pray that I get another job. Is the best we can see ourselves is getting another job as opposed to creating a company, creating a new opportunity. So the only thing that person that's looking for a job can find is a job.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're going to follow your mindset. And you're looking for a job, and that's what you'll be doing. And you'll find a job. Will you be satisfied with it, or will you just take it because you found a job? Those who get the jobs with the most money are the people who are seeking the jobs with the most money, wouldn't you say?
That's a great point. That's a great point. I had started looking at my own clientele, and I said, I want a different level of client. I want to attract to myself. I know that there's people that need my assistance, that need my help. And of course, those that I service for free, through Facebook group and YouTube, that's fine. But there's people out there that people call the affluent, the rich, and so forth, and they don't know these principles. Yeah, they haphazardly use them, and they manifest money, but there's so many other areas in their life that's experienced chaos. And I want to operate and interact with those people because they need to hear that they're gods as well. What are your thoughts?
Well, what my thoughts are, I understand that, and that's true. But the point is that the individual isn't looking to try, looking do a thing, and the thing that you'll be doing is you will be looking how you would be feeling, thinking, and acting where you already fully clothed in your desire.